on Snapchat, hey Irene, I'm assuming Irene was her name, hey Irene, she reached out to me and said,
it's crazy. Anyway, so let's get shiz put away.
Okay, let me look her up and see what
It's my meds.
So here I am, because I
need those.
Once again, got heavily influenced.
They make me
a nice person. The ending of this story is Tracy Rhodes.
Look, I got new fidget toys.
Scott, when they were teenagers. They dated in high school and became high school sweethearts. And at that time,
I need to put
they
these away.
lived in...
I need to put these in my toy bin. Yes, and I got a Rubik's Cube, like a baby Rubik's Cube. It was solved, and then I unsolved it. Yay. We're waiting for my other phone to set up so I can get started on a Facebook Live. So I think it was purple, gray, and white. I honestly don't remember, and I forgot to write it down. So we'll wait for this phone to load so I can write down what I'm doing.
Tracy had said there was a different side to Scott. He was very controlling.
Also, look at this.
She said it was
it's a sensory bottle.
Destroying their marriage.
I love this thing.
That he was constantly accusing her of having
it's not working. There it goes.
She wasn't having. So when she was at home, Scott would come into the room where she was at.
They love it. I love it. I said they love it.
She must be having an affair because she's washing her hands. It was constant. There was a family friend who was close to Scott and Tracy, and this family friend had known him for a long time, and she said that Scott was possessive, controlling. He felt like he owned her. He would accuse Tracy of sleeping with different doctors and having affairs with these different doctors that she worked with. And her friend knew that Tracy wasn't having an affair. There's no way. In an interview, Tracy goes on to tell about...
I'm not even fucking with you guys today.
She had to stay
just got a block.
Because she's delivering a baby or something. And she ended up getting home at like midnight. And when she got home, Scott and her kids weren't home. And she was freaking out, trying to call them. She called the emergency room because she thought something had happened to them. She hears the car's door open, in comes Scott, and Scott just goes off on her, accusing her of having an affair. Like, that's why she was late. Scott started yelling at Tracy, calling her a tramp and a whore. I'm assuming this was like a friend of her kids, too. And Scott said that he went looking for her that night.
Give me just a second, y'all.
What a tramp.
I'm just trying to finish getting, like, the setup set up.
An idea of relationship, I guess. So in an interview, they asked Tracy, okay, well, then why would you, which I hate this question, you know, when you're in a great bad relationship,
it's
well, why did you stay?
purple, gray, and white.
And Tracy said,
and then white, and then gray, and purple.
She said that they had just as many good times as they did bad times. And to her, it was worth working out. And honestly, like,
okay, so that's where we are.
It's easier to stay because, like, sad as that is. So throughout the years, Scott moved the family 5 times in 13 years. And the reason he moved so much was he would get really jealous and accuse Tracy of infidelity to get her away from whomever she was having an affair with. And then eventually they ended up in Texas in 2005. Tracy was far from her friends and from her family, so she felt really secluded. She didn't have anybody, so he got her all to himself. But once they got to Texas, Tracy ended up meeting somebody at
just setting up the last platform to go live on.
His name was Shawn Michaels, and he worked as a...
And then we're going to set up makeup, and we're going to get going with that.
And Tracy said that he would kind of flirt with her here and there. And she always told Shawn that she was married. And Shawn would say that he was just kidding. He was just messing around. I guess he was...
Thank you for the light.
And then one afternoon, Tracy and Shawn decided to meet in a parking lot. She said that they just stood there, they were talking, hanging out. It was nothing romantic. And then when she went to go say goodbye, Shawn leaned in and gave her a kiss. Okay, this eyeliner is making my eyelids sticky. So, Shawn and Tracy ended up kissing in the parking lot. Tracy stands by the fact
put that there for now. That's there. This over here, and this over here. Fortunately, that wasn't open because I almost just dumped everything on the freaking floor. That would have been fantastic.
was falling for this guy, and Tracy in the parking lot, like, no, it's not the same thing as having sex, but in all the interviews, she says, I did not have an affair, I did not have an affair. But I was feeling so. Emotionally, she resented it. She was all like, that's fine, whatever. Anyways, moving on. So 1 week
My wife
later,
took some Benadryl,
the
so
parking
she's
lot closed. Scott confronts Tracy in the bathroom and
sleeping.
accuses her of having an affair like he does, I guess, every other night. And Tracy says, like, in the heat of the moment, she blurts out that yes.
Say something when you get in here. Let me know you're here.
She's falling in love with this guy, Sean. I mean, finally, she had the answer he wanted to hear, right? She said for the first time in her life, there was somebody, and it wasn't about sex. It was Sean wanted her and cared about her. She just had somebody to talk to. I guess that night when Tracy said that, Scott just looked at her and said, you have no idea what you did. October 15th, 2003, police were called to the home of Scott and Tracy. Inside the couple's home lay Scott with a gunshot wound to the head. Tracy said in an interview that morning she woke up really early, like 4 in the morning, and she went for her morning walk. She came home, she took a shower, or she started a shower. I don't know if she took the shower, and then she heard a moaning sound. It was then she discovered her husband in bed.
Oh, we gotta pick out a
Tracy said that she
lipstick.
moved to go back, and I saw blood in his eyes were swollen.
Which
and
I feel
touched his
like
face and said,
doing
"Scott,
a little
you
bit
hear me?" By
of
mid-afternoon, it
an
was clear that Scott was
expected
brain dead,
color,
and
so
he soon passed away. Within
we're gonna
hours
go with
from
purple.
the 911 phone call, one of the detectives changed his mind essentially. He said that it seemed like it was an attempted suicide at first, but upon looking onto it a little bit deeper, it shifted to a possible homicide. The detective said that there were all the ingredients of a classic murder plot. There was a love interest, jealousy, a pretty young wife who was behaving suspiciously. That's what he said. The detective said that she was a nurse, but she gave no first aid to her husband whatsoever, and the reason she said she didn't give any first aid was because she was in shock. Well, what could she have done? I don't know. Tracy says that he was still breathing, so she couldn't give him CPR, and that the only thing she could really do was wait for the ambulance to come. But the detective said she's a nurse, she could have gave some kind of first aid. I don't know, maybe covered the hole which he was bleeding from. Mm-hmm. But despite the shock that Tracy was in, she still ended up calling into work, told her work that she wasn't going to be coming in that day, and that they need to find someone to replace her shift. And detectives thought that was weird. Like, if you're in shock, why would you call your work and tell them that you're not coming in? So they thought that was a little suspicious. People do the darnest things.
I'll let that
The
dry.
police and everyone around the house, right? Tracy decides to go and wash her hands.
Thank you for the
Detectives thought that was
follow.
weird. Why she washed her
Makana?
hands. Was she trying to wash
Did I
off
say
the
that right?
gunshot residue? Tracy's defense was that she could smell blood on her hands because she did touch her husband.
Face
She
routine.
just wanted to get her
I
hands
usually
wet.
do a
Tracy
live
said
for that
she
at
wanted
night.
to see, she washed
But
her
it's
hands,
very
she
simple.
just put
I
water over her hands.
makeup
She
remover
took her
wipes, and then I take a shower or bath, and then I use Clearasil to kind of help with this current breakout that I don't know where the fuck it came from. And then I have a face mask for night and a face mask for day, and then I have, face cream, and then I have a face mask for day and a face mask for night. And then I use some hand sanitizer, brush my teeth, take my contacts out, all that fun shit. So, unfortunately I didn't do any of that last night. It's a long story, but, so join me tonight and I will do a skincare routine for night.
The guy that she was like not having an affair with, in order to win full custody.
Okay, so now we're gonna get started with the primer. Hi, wifey.
She was very upset because Scott never told her that he was going to do this, and she.
I really expected her to react to me saying that, but she's like out.
Sean against her because he's going to fight no matter what to get full custody.
She took some Benadryl, guys.
She said that she loves her children.
Is not here right now. She's in La La Land.
Tracy then.
Hello, lesbian off grid.
And discuss this before moving forward, pretty much. The divorce attorney said that Tracy was obviously.
Thank you for the light. So we are doing Graysexual today. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be so fun.
So when they got home, they both agreed that they didn't want to put their kids through an ugly custody battle. Later that night, Scott his mood had changed apparently, and Scott flew into rage. So Scott went and grabbed a baseball bat. He kept asking Tracy where does Sean live.
Hello, Caitlin. Just popped in to say hi. Well, hi.
And he kept screaming at Tracy, tell me where he lives. And Tracy,
you know what I forgot to get out, guys? Eyeliner.
He's never gone to his house before.
That's good.
And then that's when Scott got physical with Tracy. So he grabs her by the throat, puts his fist up to her, told her that he was going to knock the shit out of her. So once that was over, Tracy goes into the bedroom. She grabs
thank you for the lights.
Packing, and she was just going to stay in the hotel. Scott started crying and begging her not to go, and he convinced her to stay. He said, come lay down with me, I'm sorry, and just come snuggle with me.
Somebody was trying to convince me that I should stream for 24 straight hours, and I was like,
the next morning, Scott was found dead by apparent suicide. The detectives spent the next 2 years.
My life is pretty boring. I don't think anybody would want to watch me live my life for 24 hours.
Investigators kept digging until they found the rape. Something that had been staring them in the face.
And I wouldn't be able to pay attention to it the whole time, because we go to the gym, the store, all that shit. No, I would not be able to pay attention to the stream 24 hours.
Where his hell would become one of the biggest disputes in this case. Tracy said the gun was in his hand and somewhere on the bed. And
that's a lot. It's a long time.
She was very consistent with her story. One of the prosecutors said that the pillow was used in an attempt to muffle the sound.
I'm serious though. I don't think anybody would want to watch me live my life for 24 hours, because it's mostly just mom shit that I'm doing all the time.
Disassociate herself from her husband. So prosecutors believe that's what happened. Because if Scott...
So I was like, no, that's probably not gonna happen. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is I don't know what I would do for 24 hours. That's a lot. Am I supposed to talk to you the whole time, or do you just want to see me live my life? Because it's very freaking boring. You can watch me do laundry, I guess. Super exciting. Super exciting. I know.
And he said when he removed the gun, the handle of the gun was resting on his left hand and a barrel on his right. He also said
if I'm gonna stream for 24 hours, I better earn something out of it. I'm gonna need more followers so that I can make money. Watch me take a nap. Word. Super exciting. And honestly, that's kind of creepy, because I feel now you're just all up in my business. Hello from Ireland. Hello, local dino. I'll have to pick that up in a minute. I can't reach it. If I'm gonna stream for 24 hours, then I'm gonna need some financial help. Because I wouldn't be able to do anything else I do for work, because I'd always be distracted. Shit, that would suck. Trying to reconnect. There's absolutely no reason why my Wi-Fi should be cutting out, or whether it isn't even my router. It would be super weird. It would be super weird, because that's all up in my business. And also, I have children that I don't like to put on camera. They don't like to be on camera, and that's to protect them for the most part. So I'm that's just... I can't keep everybody out of my room for 24 hours. That would just be ridiculous. I'm a mom. I have to be available. Thank you for all the likes. My nose itches.
He said over and over again that they did not have a sexual relationship. But Tracy fucked up. 10 days after Scott died, Sean and Tracy checked into the Red Roof Inn, aka a motel. Tracy says that they did not meet at the hotel to have sex. They met to talk. Apparently they had met at a pancake house before going to the hotel.
I'm watching Bailey Sarian in the background, so if you hear me repeating things she says, it's the ADHD.
So they decided to leave and go to a motel just to talk. She said she insisted that they were not going to have sex, but things did end up going further that night, and I guess they did have a sexual relationship. How would you go to a hotel to talk? How would you go to a hotel to talk? Because if
people go to hotels to talk. I just don't know why you would do that.
On the phone, I don't know. There's so many other places
talk
to
over
talk.
the phone.
10 days after he died, they did that, which did not look good. She says that She is fully aware it didn't look good, but she just needed somebody who understood to talk to. Sean and Tracy, their relationship ended up lasting 2 years, so it lasted for a while after. The prosecution showed that the gun and the gun holster fit perfectly into that stain that was on the carpet. After 2 days of deliberation, we finally had a verdict. The jury found Tracy guilty of murdering her husband. They think, okay, she had a motive. Scott was going to take away the kids. She was also having like this emotional affair with Sean, and the only way she was going to
An emotional affair. Yes, I do think it is possible to cheat on your partner emotionally.
Listen, she's found guilty, right? But here's the kicker. So in Texas, the defense has the option of letting the jurors decide the punishment as well as the verdict. So they go back to the courtroom for the second phase of the testimony. This time, Tracy took the stand, told the jurors that she did not kill her husband, and that she did not agree with their verdict. Also, her 2 older boys took the stand, and they told the jurors that they loved their father and their mother, and that the mom didn't do it. She needed to be with the kids. Pretty much begged the jurors to let her be with them because they needed her. They already lost their dad to a suicide, and they needed their mother. And it was reported that really tugged at the hearts of
Thank
the
you
jurors.
for the likes.
These kids are so innocent, so young, and it just really got to them. So that was kind of, I don't want to say it was smart, but it kind of was. So then the jury went back to deliberate as far as the sentencing goes. So what is she going to get? Life? Couple of years? What? And then 2 days later, the jurors finally made their decision. And their decision. I had to finish my list completely before telling you the results. Okay, I'm ready to tell you. So Tracy got 10 years probation. Tracy got 0 prison time. She did spend 3 days in jail to give her some kind of credit, and she was also fined $10,000. So she was punished hard. Probation means that she cannot leave the county, and she has an 8 p.m. curfew. Her nursing license was also revoked, and she lost her job, and she stands by the fact that she did not kill her husband. And to this day, she's out, she's free. Okay, look, my final thoughts on this, after reading the different interviews and stuff, looking at the evidence, I think she did it. There was a good motive. I thought that was weird, was like there was no blood on his hands or the gun. The whole thing just seemed kind of weird. I mean, did she
I love
go
how
on a
makeup
run that
just
morning?
makes
There was
blemishes
nothing.
just
Like,
fucking
on a
disappear.
run.
Bye,
I think there's a lot of
blemish.
people who are torn on if she did it or if she didn't do it. When you read about the story, all signs are like, yes, she did it.
I have
And
like
then when
this
you
really
watch
weird
movies
spot
with
of
her,
breakouts
you
right
almost
now,
like,
and it's all like
she didn't
right
do
here.
it.
And I thought at first,
That's
okay, it
the
must be that maybe I'm not getting my
story.
makeup off all the way.
And I
But I
believe
feel like
she's
if it was
still
makeup
living in
related, it would
Texas.
be
She still
everywhere,
has
not
some
just
time.
set in that one
And
spot.
she got off pretty dang easy. And let's be honest here, if that was a man, pretty much anyone other than a
I hate adult
crazy
acne.
woman
That should not
would
be a
probably
thing.
be in jail right now. Come on, let's have a moment of honesty here. So I guess the moral of the story is if you're going to kill somebody, do it in Texas because they have that law. The jury can decide your sentence. It's just a little confusing to me how the jury found her guilty, but then they only gave her 10 years probation. I don't know. The whole thing is like freaking weird, right? And that is the story. 10 years probation. So let me know what you think down below. Do you think she did it? I would love to hear what you think about this case. And
I don't know if
just some
everybody in
thoughts.
here has
I
seen
hope
that
you
we
have a good day
recently
today.
painted our room. It is purple. We have this wall over here that she just could not move the stuff to get to, so it's still white and it's going to stay that way. We call it our accent wall. And we have our initials on that wall over there. So, yeah. Hold on one sec.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome back to Mile Hour Podcast. Lori and the 2 children to live in.
Thank you.
Charles is living at a different location in July. I look rough. Hi, how are you? How's it going? How are you doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day so far.
Sorry, I wanted to change that video. I did not want to listen to the Mile Higher podcast.
Murder, mystery, and makeup.
As much as I love Kendall Ray, I can't do it.
If you are new here, hi, how are you? I hope you're having a great day. Every Monday, I sit down and I talk about a true crime story that's been heavy on my noggin. And I do my makeup or just get ready for my day at the same time. If you're interested in true crime and you like makeup, I would highly suggest you subscribe. I'm here for you every Monday, and I upload on Saturdays as well. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to try my best. Because today's story is just wild. Have you been following this? Because it hurts my brain. Today we're going to talk about Lori Vallow and missing children. I tried to follow it when it first came to the media and whatnot, but I got so overwhelmed and frazzled that I just gave up. And then finally I sat down and it's just wild. Lori Vallow, who we're going to talk about and everything, she was actually just arrested on Friday. She has a court date set for March 2nd, and I just wanted to talk about the story now because I just need to talk about it. I didn't want to wait. There's a lot of names involved. It's so confusing. And if I just sit here and tell you, you're going to get lost. Guaranteed. So with that being said, I don't have a whiteboard. But, okay, look. I have this board here, and I will be referencing.
Do I have a gray eyeliner? I don't think I have gray.
I don't know
how
well I'm going to be able to do my makeup.
Why is gray not an eyeliner?
If I can talk, but let's jump into it. So, let's start with Lori.
It took me forever to find colored eyeliners, and I got them finally.
We're not
I love
judging,
them,
but I feel after your third, maybe, you shouldn't. But hey, she's whatever. Her first marriage was in 1992 to a man. Not much is really said about it. They didn't have any children, and it just ended in divorce. So in October of 1995, Lori, she marries her second husband in Texas. The date is unknown when they get married. I don't think it matters. I don't have a picture for the husband, but they have a son. His name's Colby, first son. So then February of 1998, Lori and her second husband, who's not here, they ended up getting a divorce. In 2001, Lori marries her third husband, who is Joseph Ryan. So Joseph and Lori, they end up having a daughter together, who is Tylee. And then Joseph also officially adopts Colby from her second marriage. So then in 2004, Lori and her husband, Joseph, they end up getting a divorce. In 2005, the divorce is finalized. And then in February of 2006, so a year later, Lori marries a man named Charles Vallow, and they get married in Las Vegas, and this would be her fourth marriage now. Charles Vallow was a successful businessman, and he made good money and converted from Catholic religion to the LDS church, since Lori was also a part of the LDS church religion community. She wanted him to be a part of it, so he converted, and he also became LDS, Latter-day Saint. Yes, so they're married. Charles also had 2 sons, I believe, 2 children from a previous marriage, living with his ex-wife. Am I understanding? Lori has a brother. His name is Alex Cox. Now, he heads to Austin, Texas to handle family affairs. This is what he told a former friend. Mind you, everyone at this point in time is living in Arizona. He goes to Texas to handle family affairs. This is what he told a former friend. In the next year, Alex would plead guilty to assaulting Joseph Ryan, Lori's former husband. So according to court documents, though, Alex had tased Ryan twice and threatened to kill him. Alex was sentenced to 90 days in jail, and while in jail, he wrote letters to a friend asking for her to send a postcard with Joseph's address and license plate on it. And then in another letter, he had asked if she, because he was writing a girl, if she could send a picture of Joseph to him, saying, P.S., can you get a picture from Lori of one of her ex-husbands and send it to me? Some of the guys would love to hang out with him, and he was trying to get the people in prison to go after him based off of what it seems. Allegedly, there we go. We don't know, but it seems that way. July 2014, Lori and Charles are still married. Charles' sister, Kay, and her husband, Larry, they took in their grandson, JJ. Sister, grandson, got it. I'm sorry, I don't want to treat you like you're an idiot, but if anything, it helps need. Charles' sister, Kay Woodcock, and her husband took in their grandson. JJ was diagnosed with autism and needed just more attention than Kay and her husband felt like they could give JJ. And at this time, Charles and Lori decided that they
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
wanted to adopt JJ and take him in as their own. So they did. I mean, based off of what everyone says, Charles seems like a really just all-around great guy. Very nice, very friendly. Everyone seemed to love him. And overall, their relationship seemed really, really well. Like, they just seemed like this perfect, happy family. You know how that goes, though, so we don't really know. So Charles and Lori decide to take in JJ. I'm also going to just remove Colby here because at some point he moves out on his own and he's really not even a part of the overall story. I'll mention him again later. End of 2014, Charles and Lori, they end up moving to the Hawaiian island of Kauai. Charles and Lori, they take JJ and Kylie with them. According to business records filed by the couple, they operated a small business on the island. Based off records, it seemed to be like a juice bar or a juice shop, but juice was involved. A friend of Lori who lived in Hawaii, she said that Lori became obsessed with a writer named Chad Daybell. So Chad here is a writer, right? And he is known for a series called Standing in Holy Places. The friend said it was like all that Lori would read, and Lori bought the friend the books to read as well. She said, you gotta check these out. These are amazing. Oh my God, my mind is just awoke. So, who is Chad? Chad is a writer, like I had mentioned, and he's married to a woman named Tammy. And together they founded a company called Spring Creek Book Company, and that is where Chad would publish the majority of his books. Tammy and Chad would have 5 children together, and they lived in Springville, Utah. Chad seems to write a lot of like LDS dystopian fiction novels. A lot of his stories were about the end of times and how do you remain loyal to your faith when the world is coming to an end type of deal. Chad had a lot of books published, okay, but one of his best-selling books, or his best-selling series, is the Standing in Holy Places series. There are a total of 5 different books, and in this series, I'll give you a summary to get an idea. This is from Amazon, and it said, quote, in the near future, Tad and Emma North and their children live in a United States that is growing increasingly wicked. Many Latter-day Saints are being deceived by alluring temptations, and they wonder how much longer the Lord will allow American society to continue its downward spiral. Church leaders send out an invitation for the saints to gather together, but this invitation wasn't well accepted and even openly mocked. But those faithful church members who trust in the Lord soon find themselves accomplishing monumental tasks. The Great Gathering, the first novel in the Standing in Holy Places series, paints a vivid picture of exciting prophesied events that still must occur before the second coming. If you have an interest in what awaits the members of the LDS Church, this series should definitely be on your reading list. Thank you. And just a little disclaimer, not a disclaimer, but a side note, like I am not pointing the finger at the LDS Church or anything like that. Like, hey man, as long as you're not hurting anybody like these shitheads, I respect whichever religion, faith you choose. Chad is also reported to be a bit of a doomsday prepper and a regular guest on a podcast called Preparing a People podcast. This podcast company has since deleted any episodes Chad has participated in, but what they would talk about there is meaning the end times, the end is coming, how to, again, just remain in faith and prepare yourself for these events. I did not get to listen to the podcast, so I have really no idea what they fully talked about. But the little clips that I did hear, it just sounds very, what's the word, fear-mongering, is it? Because it sounds like they're trying to scare people with the reality that the world is going to end. And whether you believe that or not, whatever. But it just sounded very intense. Chad was kind of putting himself on this pedestal, saying that he, has these powers to speak to just a higher power. Chad has mentioned a couple of times that he's spoken to people who are dead. They come to him. He's also had near-death experiences, and where he got these just crazy visions about what's to come, and just has visions. Visions. That's so Raven, but real life. He's the special one, apparently. I'm amazing. Listen to me. I'm sure the Latter-day Saint community would not agree that his beliefs and whatnot are what represent them as a whole. So again, sometime in 2015, Lori bought Chad's Standing in Holy Places series and became obsessed with them, according to friends. Chad and Lori did not know each other that we
Weird.
know of.
Okay.
And if they did know each other, it had to be through emails, maybe, possibly like the internet. They both lived in different states at the time. I'm sure investigators are on it. I'm curious to know if they have traced any emails between the two of them, or like letters, anything in 2015. Probably they talked here and there, right? They had to. June 2015, Chad and his wife, they end up purchasing a home in Salem, Idaho, after Chad claims that he heard voices tell him move to Rexburg, Idaho. Also, Chad wrote on his blog about this. He heard a voice telling him that he needed to move to this location, to the Holy Land. But they end up moving from Springville, Utah to Salem, Idaho. And he takes a position working as a librarian, and Chad continues his bullshit. So in late 2016,
Baby, Kiara's calling you.
2017, Lori and Charles, they moved from Hawaii to Chandler, Arizona. April 3rd, 2018. Lori's ex-husband, Joseph Ryan, remember him?
And that is the Graysexual look. I hope you all enjoyed hanging out with me today. Tune back in tonight and I'll do a nighttime skincare routine video. Have a wonderful day.
There was nothing suspicious about his passing, but now, of course, it's like,
what?
Man, did he really die of a heart attack? Lori's